The summer solace is on us, but the heat is in between the ropes. It's looking like the summer of Punk versus the summer of Cena. We have a lot of things to get up off our chests. It's prime time, and we are talking wrestling. Welcome to the monthly episodic show. This is the Nation of Conversation, and we are the excellence of non-execution. This is the place where we don't need to lie, cheat, or steal. This is the Three Amigos Show podcast, y'all.
Podcast.
Is that echo in here? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But if this is your first time, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between. We don't want to leave anyone out. And if you are returning, welcome back. First things first, speaking of first, I'm the first amigo. And as always, there's no shook hands in Brooklyn. If you don't know me, you will. I'm the voice in the people's choice. I'm the brilliant, bright, but always willing to fight. I am Brandon. What's up, good people? How y'all doing out there? In the
Yes.
land? Not the places that's being bombed, but that's another conversation. To our second amigo, repping Flatbush to the fullest.
Yes.
He's the grand opening and the grand closing. He's
You
Mr.
never
High
lie.
Profile himself.
You damn right.
Is the Panamanian God. He is the Mashout King.
Yes. Always replicated, but never duplicated.
You know what? We definitely gonna always get a line from you after that. And certainly, last but not least, our third amigo. He is lyrical. He is miracle. He is spiritual. He is criminal. He is minimal. He is bare minimum aluminum bars. He's the host, formerly known as Diesel Washington. He is Big Daddy Cool Sour Diesel. What's going on, D? How are you this week?
Hey man, I'm doing good. I'm breaking the fourth wall. AK Masquerade. I'm doing good.
Okay, you sound a little muffled there, but I'm sure you said something.
Fuck, they
really
always do it. Stuff a good thing.
I know you had good intentions in what it is you said. You meant well. You meant well.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me good? Can you hear me live and well?
We can hear you. You sound like you're recording live under the tunnel. Nonetheless, we want you to join the Nation of Conversation. If you don't already, subscribe, like, share, comment, join the conversation. Remember to stay tuned to the entire show, just in case you can gain access to exclusive prizes and giveaways. Speaking of joining the conversation, we're not alone at all. This week, we have a guest. He's an artist, professional wrestler, rapper, writer, actor, model. The artist may be formerly known as Nicole White. We want you to reach down and light it up for Mr. Hemi Hendrix.
Yeah. What's good, y'all? What's good? Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
No problem.
Hey, I go by. My name is Nikolai White. It's not. I know some people get confused by that, but yeah, it's Nikolai White. Nikolai White, yeah.
That's why we have interviews for those that might not know. So now we can get to know you. So thanks for the clarification. We appreciate that, Nikolai.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me. My mom, she got from like a TV show.
Okay. Yeah. Do you know what TV show?
I think it was called Vampire Nights.
Okay.
What do you want to be addressed by?
I go by Nikolai, Hemi Hendrix, doesn't matter. I go by many names.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay. So either or will be all right. Will be good.
Foley, I see you.
Yeah. Many faces. I go by many faces. Yes.
Well, first things first, how you doing? We seen that you was at Brooklyn Comic Con. You was one of the most talked about professional wrestling wrestlers at Comic Con. After you had some remarkable wrestling there. I mean, there was some backbreakers, there was some high flying maneuvers. How was the experience?
Yeah, the experience was like a first time. I haven't experienced something like that. I've been to like Comic Con, like the New York Comic Con. That's been at like Jacob Javits Center. And being at that environment was a cool, very cool experience. A lot of people, the energy was dope, and the experience was great. I love to do it another time next year, probably, hopefully, if I get the opportunity.
Speaking of the Javits Center, isn't that the site for Fanatics Fest that's going on
Oh,
in New York right around this time right now?
yes, that would be dope if they did like some type of wrestling show there. That would be dope. You know.
Okay, well now for those of you who don't know, I clearly remember a video going viral when the Knicks first made the Eastern Finals. It was a viral video where a Knicks fan took a dive off of the taxi cab. I don't know if it was a frying floor splash, what it was. Can you clarify for us what you was doing, expressing your excitement
Oh,
for the Knicks?
okay. It was
Because that was
it
you,
was
right?
like it was right after Game 6 when we beat the who we beat? We beat the Celtics. We beat the Celtics right after Game 6. It was, so I just wanted to be there. I was just like walking past there. They said the Knicks was winning. I was like chilling with my friends in the city, so I just went there celebrate with the people. And when they won the game, it was like all hell broke loose. It was like a party down there. So I decided to like, join in the fun. I had a couple of drinks in me, I'm not gonna lie. And I had that liquid courage to just jump over a taxi box or some. I don't know what the hell we jumped off of, but it was it was exciting. So I had to do it. So I had to create a viral moment for myself. So I had to
What
do
did
it.
you land on?
I landed on a couple of frat boys, some Knicks fans. I was there.
So you wasn't even inside the game. You just happened to be
I
passing
was
by.
just I was just there. I was just hanging out. Like I said, I was in the city with my friends. They was like, "Yo, let's go to the Madison Square Garden. The Knicks is winning." So we went over there and celebrate over there.
Well, you definitely took a leap into the future, but let's go a little bit back from the future. In order to know where you're going, we have to know where are you from. So we have to ask, where are you from?
I'm born and raised in Harlem, New York, 125th. Right
Okay.
there. Yeah, right there in the heart of Harlem, right there.
East side, west side?
West side, west side. I'm
Okay.
like right there in the Grant Projects, the
Mm.
infamous Grant Projects. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, a lot of influences, a lot. I could see why you are, a Renaissance man, a modern day Renaissance man. A lot of different
Mm-hmm.
things. Harlem is a melting pot. For those of you who've never been to New York City and don't know what Harlem is, you're definitely missing out. I also wanted to know what was the time gap between when you started watching professional wrestling and when you started actually training. Like you see this dream happen, and you're a little kid or however old. How old were you when you first started dreaming of getting into professional wrestling?
I have to say, like I was around, let's say 6 or 7 years old.
Okay. Do you remember what
Uh
was happening?
I was just borrowing. I was borrowing like videotapes from my cousins,
Okay.
and I thought I was throwing in a movie, but it was like an episode of Raw taped over. And since then, I was just like hooked. So I didn't really know like any knowledge about wrestling at all until I
Right.
saw that. Until I saw like video games. Like I saw like one of my cousins playing video games. I'm like, yo, they have a video game. And then I knew about like the weekly shows until I was around 9 years old. And since then, I was like hooked on it ever since. Until I was like around 13 years old, I started training.
So you started training at the age of 13.
Yes, yes.
So
I was
how
training.
long was so how long so from 6 to 13, like what was that whole phase like in your life of really discovering your love for professional wrestling? What was it about it?
Like it was just basic, like a basic fan would like imitating like the mannerisms from your favorite wrestlers. I grew up loving The Rock, Jeff Hardy, The Undertaker, Rey Mysterio. Those like my top guys that I grew up on. And like throughout that time period, I was just like a big fanatic until like I saw, I was big on like like on YouTube. Like I was really like glued on YouTube. Like I was on YouTube every day until I found like this wrestling league that was in Lower East Side, and that's when the transition began. When I was 13 to go into training.
Where did you train at?
So I started. So really, I really started when I was 13. I only like really started training like in the parks and stuff like that. So people who was already like ring trained, they would come over here and go through the neighborhood and teach us how to like actually do the moves and how to maneuver in the ring, whatever. I only really started training when I was 17.
Mm.
When I turned 17, that's when I was like really old enough to get my own money and pay for my own training and stuff like that. And I trained in the Bronx, and I was Darrow's Extreme Fitness
Okay.
in the Hunts Point area, and that's when I started learning my craft and stuff like that. And that's when Mike Santana, he started having his own class. He's from TNA right now. He's contending
Mm-hmm.
for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. So he was my first ever trainer. Really, he really taught me like the ins and outs in the business. Really, he really green and really molded me to be the wrestler I am today.
So
Oh,
what was the first like culture shock for you when you got into trying to become a professional wrestler? Something you was like, you know what? Oh no, this shit is real. Okay.
Oh yeah,
What was that? Yeah.
I think it was a TV show that was like some TV special. They was like, oh, the secrets of wrestling, right?
mhm.
And I watched, like I remember glued to that, and they was showing like the secrets and how, and I was like, yo, this is how they really do it. Like, oh my god, like, and my first thought, because when you was like, when you had your friends and they started discovering what wrestling really is, or they would say it's fake, what they would just turn off from it. That's when I knew from that point that I really wanted to do this because I wasn't turned away from it. They were showing me the secrets and all this stuff like that, and I wasn't turned from it. So when I went to like the little wrestling league I found on YouTube, they was in Lower East Side, and when I saw them planning out their matches and coming up with spots and stuff like that, that's when I was like, this is what I want. Like this is crazy. Like I'm in the world now. Like I'm in it now. This is the path, and I'm going to take it.
Okay.
I never look back. I never look back. You know.
Okay. We got a 10-time Park State champion on this show. That's Big Daddy Cool Sour Diesel. Yeah, he
Uh-huh.
started wrestling in the parks as well. I don't know if he ever graduated to the training school with Mike
You
Santana.
see, actually, with with him, he did the pre-training with the
Okay.
parks, and then
Yeah.
after he pre-trained, he went for the real training. So
Right.
Yeah.
he did. You listen, I crawled so him he could walk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
You
he's
know, he paid the wave. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
you're running, and listen, man. When you're ready to pass that baton, make sure you're passing it to somebody who has that experience. You know what I mean? Who loves the craft.
Absolutely.
uh
Absolutely. Wow.
Yeah.
You know,
All
this,
the
you know,
all
it's
yeah.
still,
he's like
it
the
is
idol
still.
of all the park wrestlers.
Yeah. Nah, there's
Nat
other
Turner of Park State Wrestling. Wow.
nah, there's other like guys that who done backyard or park wrestling, and they actually, you know, exceeded in the industry. Like I said, Mike Santana, he was one of those guys, and now he's competing for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Hopefully soon, the NXT Championship. I had guys who also trained me who've been in the parks. Chris Cage, you know, 2KW. That's was the most popular New York City backyard wrestling
Hmm.
organization that was there, and that was my first taste of wrestling. You know, I learned from those were the guys I looked up to the most, not the guys from like TV. You know, these are the
Right.
guys that's actually in my neighborhood. You know, the guys I see every day. These everyday people that, you know, came from the same trenches, the same background that I was. So these are the guys I looked up to the most.
So they was for us by us, so I can understand you being definitely inspired by
Hmm.
the men and women, because it was women also sometimes in those leagues. Some of the toughest son of a bitches you ever known. I
Yeah.
mentioned earlier about you being a modern day Renaissance man. You have like that New York hustle in you, like you said, you're from
Mm.
Harlem. You already dabble in a myriad of different things. If you weren't a professional wrestler, what is it that you think you would be doing?
I think an actor.
Mm.
Some because entertainment always been around like my family. Like I have like a whole family of talented people. So like doing anything that's like involved with entertainment always been around my family. So if it's not acting, I would be, you know, something to do with music. If it's not music, something to do with, you know, streaming or something like that. Something to do like to entertain people. That's why I like to give people um I like to leave people with a smile, you know, people to remember me by. That's what I want.
Okay. A few weeks ago, there was some controversy going around the wrestling world, and you was expressing yourself about it. A lot of people don't know what goes on sometimes. Like you, I guess we want to call it the real dark side of the ring,
Yeah.
or things that go on backstage. Do you want to give any notion to people who might have been following on social media who might not have been familiar on what it is that you were speaking about?
Yes, I would like to. So this like I feel like this has been like an ongoing issue with not only just, you know, professional wrestling, but you know, like outside of the world. Uh it's like women being abused or being mistreated in the industry. And I'm a big advocate for not, if I'm in my space, you know, what if it's any space I'm in, whether it's doing with art or music, I don't want anybody to feel mistreated or be discriminated against, whoever they, you know, they are from their background. So when it comes to women, just, you know, being abused, or even young women uh of that sort, and we having those same people allowed in our spaces, like nothing happened. And it's that's the ongoing problem that I have for like the longest,
Now,
for long. And
is this referring to in more so in the professional wrestling, or is this something that that you knew of that was happening personally to someone?
yes, this is what happened to a fellow wrestler, my female wrestler that goes by Anastasia Morningstar. She was dating another wrestler that go by Caveman, and Caveman has multiple allegations about,
So we're
you
not gonna
know,
call the
te-
name. So Hemi, we we not gonna call the person name.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, okay,
Mhm.
my bad.
We're gonna have to
So
edit it out
basically,
for
yeah,
production.
this,
Random thoughts.
Oh, I was
okay,
gonna
all right,
ask
my
her
bad.
name, but okay.
I was just,
Yeah. Go
but
ahead.
nah, this female wrestler that I know had this situation that she was also dating a wrestler, and they had a relationship. Apparently, he was abusive towards her, and he's still allowed in these spaces. You know, these, these shows that I wrestle in, and people just allow it, but he stays quiet. That's why nobody says anything. But he's still like within these spaces. Like he still comes in the locker rooms and still selling his merch and stuff like that. That's why I have an issue with. If everybody knows this problem, if he knows, everybody knows the stuff that he does, why he's still allowed
Right.
to make money and still, you know, interact with fans and stuff like that. That's why I'm trying to get at. If many people and countless wrestlers who's been on top of the card within the industry like that has been, you know, outed for those type of things, and they haven't been around these spaces, what makes them so special? You know what I'm saying? That's what I feel like I need to like clean out from. If you are any of the sort of mistreating women or mistreating anybody, you should not be around our space. And that's
Mm,
what I'm trying to advocate for. You
mm.
know,
Okay.
everybody's saying, everybody has, you know, we have this mentality where, oh, my brother, but we still forgetting that we have sisters in our space and we need to protect them too, you know?
So well, I'm
No, go
sorry.
ahead. Go ahead.
So in understanding in the culture of sports, right? Unfortunately,
Mm.
sometimes females get treated, negatively,
Uh,
right? What are you doing actively trying, in terms of where you're at in your career and you know your interactions. What are you exactly doing now?
I
to
want
help
to.
the situation.
I'm sorry. Well, I just want to be the catalyst for them. If they have a story to tell, then I won't be the one to turn from it. You know, I want to be the vessel for that. If I know a lot of women got stories that they're afraid to tell, and they feel like they would be attacked by they posses or stuff like that. And then there's a lot of it's a cliquey business. I'm not gonna lie, and I feel like that's why women are afraid to speak out. And I want to be the vessel where it's not it's no reason to be afraid to speak out. I'm here to listen. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Oh, the listen, and also it would be to a call to action, right? After you
Call.
do
I
listen.
want that's definitely what I wanted. The call to action. We don't need these types of people in our species. These women out here are not for sexual favors. They're here to make money and entertaining fans. I think everybody should have that same mentality. We here to entertain the fans and not be so horny. You know what I'm
Right,
I
saying?
mean,
right,
I was
right,
saying our 10
right.
time park champion has advocated before on this show about that with objectifying the women and sometimes, feeling like they eat the egg in a push or you like them more,
Yeah.
they might have, the BBL or they're more
Mm,
objectified or whatever the case may be. So
yeah.
we can definitely understand your stance in that. Mash out hates Natalia, by the way, but that's here nor there.
It's true. It's true. I call her. Yeah, I refer to her Jim the Animal Nineheart.
No way.
That
Yes.
that that yeah no there. However, comma we wanted to give you the space and the place to at least talk about
Oh,
that and advocate that. And if there's something, a mission in which you are starting, we want to implore you to continue to do so. I want to get a
yeah.
little bit into talking about who you are, just a little bit. So far in the ring, who do you think or what do you think has been your greatest adversary?
I think, man. I think the unpredictability.
Mm,
I guess because I'm all over the place. You know, I don't have like a firm set of like a fighting style that I have. I call myself a hybrid. You know,
okay.
I could go technical, I go lucha, high flying, power. I could do anything. I'm like I said, I used to have this old gimmick, the water. So my motto was like, be like water. You know, you put water in a cup, you become the cup. Put water in the bottle, you become the bottle. So I just absorb with any type of situation that I'm in, and I fight it. You know, I fight against it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I like to do. I'm a hybrid.
Mm.
I can match the style if I want to, or I can just switch it up whenever I want to within the match.
Okay.
All right. So speaking of that, we're gonna get into a little bit of the turnbuckle talk after this question. Talk a little bit about what's going on in the world of professional wrestling. You can feel free to chime in.
Mm,
If not, we definitely understand, but we would
mhm,
appreciate it if you chime in. But I did want to
mm.
ask. You said your style was a little bit of like hybrid, high flying, along with using like the dichotomy of what wrestling. If you could steal another wrestler's move set, what wrestler would that be and why?
Oh, can I pick three wrestlers?
You can.
I pick William Regal for his technical sound.
Mm,
Ooh.
I like I was a big Regal fan growing
me
up.
too.
Uh, I'll say Masawa. He's almost like a hybrid
Mm.
too, but
Mm-hmm.
Misahiro Masawa.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
I take it just for like his powerness and his quickness. And last wrestler, I'll say for AJ Styles for the athleticism.
And the
Those are
agility. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Those are really
some
good
good. Those are
three.
some good picks.
Those are
Mm,
some people to compare themselves to.
mm,
Compare yourselves to. If you can steal those or at least add that to your repertoire, that would be dope. We're gonna let you hold that mule and we're gonna go right to the Mash Out King to see what we're gonna talk about. What's going on in the world of professional wrestling today? The
Yes.
Turnbuckle
mm.
Talk. Like I said, feel free to chime in. He'll more than
Mm.
likely ask you what do you think about it.
Yes.
So,
So
Mash Out King, what do you got on the docket for what's
it's been
going
a
on
long,
in
it's
the
been a
world?
long week in terms of professional wrestling. Definitely
Mm-hmm.
a long week because guess what? I want to say John Cena woke the fuck up Friday night. Okay, John Cena finally stopped boring the people. I know John Cena's job was to ruin professional wrestling, and he was successfully doing it every week until Friday night. He gave his own version of the pipe bomb Friday night. Let me tell you something. It was entertaining. It was entertaining. It was fucking shady like I love. And being from New York, we love shade. So the fact is that, it was shady and it was to the point. Fellas, I'm going to just throw it right out there. Anybody want to jump at it? Your thoughts, and then, on John Cena's promo. John Cena said that you used to be against the company. Now you're TKO.
Yo.
That's what he said.
That's John Cena at his best. And then when I seen him do that, like, I was in denial over the years. I have this sort of love-hate thing with wrestlers like John Cena. I love you, I hate you. I love you, I hate you. On this go-around, when he's on his way out, I love him. And on Friday night, gave me more reason to love him. And I also agree with everyone saying that he is the master of ceremonies. That was like, we waited a long time for these matches to come ahead. But I think no one was waiting for the pipe bomb response 14 years later. And John Cena did an excellent showing when he did that. And that's all I got to say about that.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to mirror my brother's sentiments with both of them. Very great mic work. John Cena has not always, to me, been the best on the microphone, but I think what we saw on Friday, this is what I was expecting when he first turned heel. This type of Cena is what I've been waiting for, and this is what I was expecting to see from him. I also like how it was full circle with the R-Truth moment. R-Truth was who CM Punk was taking on, and John Cena was fighting when the pipe bomb happened. I love the whole full circle moment. I like how they actually put a period on the sentence. So that was definitely dope. Kudos to, I guess, the GOAT, right? We got the best in the world taking on the GOAT.
It's funny that you say that because, it was delivered so effortlessly. Sorry. And what ends up happening is that it made up for a bunch of other just lackluster promos that John Cena did over the last few weeks. So, and guess what? I've never been a John Cena guy. So let me go on record. I always thought John Cena was, I thought John Cena had been ruined wrestling since 2003. But the fact is that, you know what? He woke the fuck up and he made it entertaining. Jimi Hendrix, I don't know if you had a chance to watch it on Friday night, but what do you think about John Cena promo?
I like the callback. I like callbacks in wrestling. So that was like a nice little touch to the little feud they have. So it's a lot of callbacks within this run with John Cena. So it's like going down memory lane for Lace, because this is his last run. So he's going through like his best hits. It's like he's remaking his best hits, his best feuds almost of a sense. So I kind of like that, especially with the pipe bomb he dropped. That was a nice little touch. So I'm kind of enjoying this little feud they got.
Big Daddy Cool, looks like you got something else to add.
I think he's having his greatest part twos now than he had his part twos back then. Like when we kept seeing him going against Randy all the fucking time. Had they wait like how they did this, this was perfect. And going back to John Cena's heel run, do we think is? I think we criticize it wrong. I don't think he was really a heel. I think John Cena was just being super dickhead John Cena. That's what I think, in my opinion. Because it's like all the mic work that he did in the past when he was burying the talents and he was just telling us the reasons why like he had to do what he had to do and the reason why he was so great. It's just because, he was being super dickhead John Cena. And now it just came to a full head that this is who he is. Like, he's just a super dickhead. And everything that he's saying is tight factual. Because when he's gone, who we going to have? We're going to miss him.
I don't know about that.
You're going to miss him. You're going to miss Big Match. You're going to miss Big Match John.
John Cena. Let me tell you something.
You shaking your head no now. You shaking your head now. No. You know what I'm trying to say.
I don't know what you're trying to say because the fact is that John Cena has been gone really since 2015. You know, you've had so many other wrestlers out there that has technically taken that main spot. You know what I mean? John Cena has been jobbing for the
It took a
last
while. It took a
like
while
8
for that
years.
man spot to get filled. So let's
No,
not
it
act
did
like
not.
yeah, it did.
It did not.
In
It did not.
2015 up until probably like 2020, whatever. Come on, WWE was lagging. We all knew this.
But
This
that
is why
doesn't mean there
AEW
wasn't.
can't.
But that doesn't mean there wasn't a main guy in the spot. It
Who
just
was
means
the
the
main
audience
guy?
haven't accepted the guy. Understand something. Where you got to agree with John Cena, what he says is the audience has always had a love-hate relationship with John Cena. Okay, always from day one. So because the thing is that Vince McMahon saw something in John Cena that no one else saw, and he said this guy could be the face of my company. This guy, because The Rock done left me. Stone Cold done left me. Triple H can't hold the company. And so he found it in John Cena. Unfortunately, John Cena only got to 16-time world champion because Vince McMahon decided he needs to get to that title, get to that reign. It wasn't that people loved him. A lot of John Cena's matches, they booed the shit out of him. They really did.
This is true. We all know.
Jimi Hendrix, you a John Cena guy?
Oh yeah, always been a John Cena guy.
Oh man, I gotta take him off the camera.
People are entitled to that. You can't be a John Cena guy.
Always been
Somebody
a John
was buying
Cena
the
guy.
shirts.
Come on. If he was a kid growing up, man, everybody was a John Cena fan. Come on.
I think John Cena's truths hit harder with CM Punk than anyone else's over the last years.
Well, I mean, that's been the guy who has always kind of been his hardest critic, right? That's always been the devil on his left shoulder, has always been kind of what CM Punk has said about him, what CM Punk has done to him. Even when The Rock came and cooked him, it still was a part of like CM Punk still cooking John Cena back in, I think, 2012. I can't remember what year that was.
That was 2012.
Yeah. So it was still like this has been his gravest demon. So for him to be able to face that demon and work that demon out in the middle of the ring while CM Punk lays there and listen in the table, that's what was cracking me up. Was like
that part had me mad. That part had me mad. Like you laying there for 12 minutes hurt.
They did it, but
like word that I
John Cena did the same thing.
No, John Cena was giving movement around in the ring, and he could have. CM Punk could have moved away from the table, set it propped up in the corner, still hurt. You know what I mean? He could have did that. Like, he was just really laying there for a whole 12 minutes.
But that wasn't CM Punk. That was Phil Brooks. Okay, Phil Brooks' acting career. That's what that was. You know, you gotta give him that.
That was his UFC career.
He was auditioning and played the dead body on Law and Order. So at the end of the day, then he did a hell of a job on there. All right, next. So, you know what? Speaking about things this week that made absolutely no sense. Okay, let's go to Goldberg is in the main event as Saturday night's main event to now become the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. All right. Now, Goldberg, who when getting out of the ring, almost broke his ankle, by getting out of the ring. Go ahead.
Goldberg going up to the ring almost broke his fucking legs. You didn't see how he got up on that turnbuckle? Oh my gosh.
Goldberg, who also injured his own self in practicing, is now in training, is now going up to be the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. So what we do know now is Jey Uso lost. So Gunther could win. So Gunther could headline Saturday night's main event to go against Goldberg, So I have a theory about this, but I'm gonna now turn to because it seems like Big Daddy Cool seems like it's only me and you here. So so what is your thoughts on the shenanigans that happened on Monday Night Raw?
It's complete utter bullshit. Okay, you want to go back to a storyline that was in October. You want to go back to a storyline that no one asked for. And if you want to go back to storylines, go back to the ones that we need. Go back to the ones that we have been asking for. There's no need for a Goldberg. Who wants to see a Goldberg versus Gunther match? Gunther don't need to prove himself to be one of the best technical sound wrestlers in the industry by taking on a fucking Bill Goldberg who only lasts as long. Only match lasts is about 3 minutes. And who's to say that he's going to go this long? And I'm not trying to see that. If that's what they're going to give us come July 12th, I'm not trying to see that. I'm not a fan of Goldberg. Never have been. This is not a match that I want to see. Gunther should be focusing on talent that is here today and that's here to stay and continue on. We don't need a Goldberg versus Gunther. I'm sorry. I'm not for it.
So Goldberg bypassed everybody. You understand? Goldberg bypassed everybody to get to the front of the line. And that's honestly what's really crazy, because when you think about it, look how many wrestlers, even if you said that Jay's title reign was not good, it didn't hit the way it needed to hit. Why take the title off of him to give it to Gunther to now go against Goldberg, who's also in his mid to late 50s, who also, ladies and gentlemen, in case you don't know, is also retiring this year as well. So you're having a 2-for-1, right? You have John Cena's tour, and you have Goldberg, who basically been in retirement for the last 10 years. Every single match he's been in, as far as I remember, in the last 5 years, he's either injured himself or injured someone else. So the fact is that they took the belt off of Jey Uso, Jimi Hendrix. So you from the BX, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, not BX, excuse me, you from Harlem, all right? So we respect our elders, right? The street cats, all them type of dudes or whatever. Is Goldberg a street cat? Would you allow Goldberg to bypass everybody in the hood to get the top spot?
Hell no. No.
Look how big he is himself just by walking.
We beat the dust off his bones. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's like he just came home. You know what I mean? Like he was the man back in the day. He just came home and he expecting like to get hit off. Like, nah, bro, you had your time. And and Gunther didn't need the title to go into this match. But looking at it also too, if Gunther's going to fight Goldberg, he needs to have a title. That's the way I see it. That's the only way I can see it. Gunther needed a title to have to go against Goldberg. Otherwise, why would he be fighting him?
It's crazy. Random thoughts. You back with us. What you got for us, Bree?
If this doesn't end with a Brock Lesnar, Ilya Dragunov return, I'm not interested. I'm not interested now. I'm not interested in Cena retiring, nor am I interested in this Goldberg nigga retiring.
He's an
I'm not interested at all. But if this isn't Ilya Dragunov returning, if this isn't a Brock Lesnar returning, what's happening here? What are we doing here?
You know what I believe? I believe that Goldberg's going to win, and then Seth Rollins is going to cash in. That's what I truly believe. But the cash in is going to get fucked up by either Brock Lesnar or Roman.
But I feel like that would be better if it was Sammy. You see what Sammy is fighting for, and Sammy's like moving up, and the King of the Ring. Like, I feel like if we get to Sami Zayn, remember that's another demon that Gunther hasn't slayed. If we're gonna talk about really long-term storybooking, is the fact that Sami Zayn is who beat him for the Intercontinental, who ended his reign. So if it's gonna be him and Sami Zayn at the King of the Ring, then it makes more sense for Seth to try to cash in on Sami Zayn since he's been beefing with Seth's crew.
Sammy not going.
Huh?
Sammy not going.
Oh, you don't think he gone?
He got eliminated.
By Randy Orton?
Yeah, isn't that what these matches is for?
It
is for the King of the Ring. You absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah,
absolutely right.
That's over for him. That's over for him.
It was over for Sammy. Oh, okay.
And speaking about it's over, Liv Morgan, all right, also got injured this Monday night, and it looks
what
like,
a segue!
and it looks like her run is over for the next 6 months. You know what I mean? It was, I've watched that move back many of times, and I understand how she got hurt. I just can't figure out exactly what happened in that moment. You know,
She tried to break her fall with the what was it, the what they call that, drop leg takedown.
yeah,
And you know how they usually try to hit the mat. I think she just hit that shit too hard, and her arm was really stretched out, and the way the shit just landed, you see the shoulder, it popped out.
yeah. They said it popped out.
Yeah, so
Yeah, we wish her a speedy recovery.
We
and
do.
this changes a whole lot of plans for the upcoming PLE evolution for the women, because a lot of plans was around Liv Morgan.
They put Roxanne Perez right in that spot, right there. She could be tag team champions with Raquel Rodriguez, if that's her name, Gonzalez, something like that. And they could defend the tag titles against whoever they're gonna be fighting, Charlotte and Alexa,
I
or
mean, yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, the way you make it sound so easy,
It
but it's
is.
probably others. It's probably other shit that was like other branches off in those plans.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
This is how you could
that
keep
sounds easy. That sounds good, but
you can keep Liv relevant. You can keep Roxanne growing, and you still
Mm.
keep the whole storyline with the remaining members of Judgment Day and Dominic and all that going. That's a
Liv,
3-for-1 right there.
Liv can still be an on-screen character, as she could be in the corner of
She should heal
Roxanne.
up. She should heal. She should heal.
But they say it's gonna take
Yeah,
about
forever.
like
She should heal forever.
16 weeks.
She should heal forever and go. Choose a new.
I'm not saying that. I don't want nobody out no job. This business
No,
is hard,
the,
but
the woman's got an acting career. Speaking about acting careers, Himi Hendrix, right?
Yeah.
So are you? So you said you're an actor too?
Mm.
Yes, no, maybe so.
you said he would be an actor.
Yeah, yeah.
If he wasn't a
Yeah,
wrestler.
Oh,
I would be an actor.
Oh, you would.
I've done
be.
acting. I've done acting before, but
Would
yeah,
you act?
if this was, I did like small roles, like small movie roles, like small like short films and stuff like that, projects.
Okay. Has any moves ever went wrong? In terms of in terms of your wrestling career.
Any
I
botch.
say, I did separated my clavicle. But it was it was on my part. My position of my body was wrong. So, and the guy was like he had like a few pounds on me. So like he rolled all over my shoulder and separated my clavicle. That's like that one injury I have. So
did they
things
pop
can
back in place there?
no like after like a day after because it was like really bothering me. So I had to go to the hospital for them to like push it back in and I had to ice it for like a week. Yeah.
I have a similar story. One time in my career,
Okay.
in park wrestling,
Mm-hmm.
I had an intergender match. I was going against this
Okay.
woman named her name was Big Adrian. That's her name.
Okay. Big Adrian.
Big Adrian, and she was
Adrian.
going for an elbow drops splash, and she landed right there into my collarbone.
Mm.
It was
The
broken.
clavicle.
Yeah,
This is like you're like twins. It's like
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? This is like before and after. Like here.
So how long did you sustain the
This is
injury?
crazy.
It was about a month and a half.
Wow.
I had to walk around in a sling.
So,
Yeah.
so you didn't want to go to the hospital to allow them to pop it back in.
No, I couldn't do it.
Okay.
At that time, I was a little McFoley.
Oh, one of the toughest sons of bitches they have out there. Wow. And we have them legendary right here on this show, ladies and gentlemen, the Three Amigos show.
They called me McFoley because I was a fool back then.
Okay.
Listen,
Like Foley, man.
let me tell you something. With the stardom that these two have, they both should always walk around with cameramen. Like it's just like really like, I'm in awe. I'm in
Hall
awe.
of Famers.
Huh?
You might be future Hall of Famers.
I think we got to call the New York City Parks Department and see if we can get them up on the wall somewhere. Both of them. You know, I think
Put me somewhere in a put me somewhere in a pizzeria somewhere.
Okay. Okay.
Well, my picture's gonna go up somewhere in a local Chinese restaurant.
Ah,
That
that makes sense. That makes sense.
would make sense. That go hard actually.
That would make sense. Okay, so I got two more, and then I'm gonna throw it back to B. So let's go AEW real quick, right? So there's a big talk on who is going to dethrone Jon Moxley as the AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Okay,
Yeah.
so you know there's a lot of contenders in there. Some people say it might be Hangman Adam Page. Some people say it might be Swerve Strickland. Some people might say it might be Kenny Omega. Some people it could be, or it could be a dissension within, like how B would say the Bloody Nuts crew. You know, it could be a dissension in his crew that that could dethrone him. Or
I guess this is the perfect time to say. I guess this is the perfect time to say, "Hey, Claudio Castelloni." But well, if you want to say dethrone, you have to say it have to be people who haven't wrestled Moxley for the title already. So we can take Swerve out of that because he lost. A person I see dethroning him is going to have to be a Hangman Page, but I don't think it's going to be him. It's going to be Will Ospreay. Those are my two picks. Either Hangman Adam Page or Will Ospreay. And knowing Tony, how much of a he is, he's going to go for Will Ospreay to win it.
All right.
I mean, I could definitely.
It only make perfect sense to give it to Will Ospreay.
I could see that prediction. I see it between like two ways: between a Hangman getting in and then Will taking it off of Hangman, or as you're saying, that Hangman is the one to dethrone because Moxley is the heel. But no matter how you slice the pie, Moxley is the heel in this. So in order to do that, you have to get your over baby face over, which is Will Ospreay. But I am team Hangman Adam Page. I like what he's doing with his dichotomy and style of like wrestling. I think he has improved. He's had like a Seth Rollins transition, like how Seth wasn't really good on the microphone at first when he started out, and then as he started to progress, he got better. And I feel like that's what's happening with Hangman Adam Page. I mean, he gets most improved from me.
Timmy Hendricks, do you watch AEW?
Occasionally, whenever I get the chance. So, yeah, I watch like clips and stuff like that. So whenever I get the.
Me too, brother. Me too.
Yeah,
it's like a movement.
But
It's a movement.
I like
it's a movement.
It's a movement. I like Hangman. I feel like he's been carrying AEW for like the past couple of years, especially with him and Swerve. I feel like those are the two who've been like carrying like stuff for like AEW. So I'm a big Hangman guy. So.
Okay. All right. And last but certainly not least, so fucking turncoat John Laurinaitis, man. Oh man, how you gonna do this to my boy Vince McMahon, man? And that's you want to sit there and cooperate with the government against the guy that made you, man. Right?
Anybody that got laryngitis for 35 years, you should never trust. Okay? There's no way in hell your horse for that long. A nigga like that is going to snitch. Read the context clues. Okay?
I like that.
Read the context clues, brother, man. You know that nigga was gonna snitch. Somebody with a name like John Laryngitis. You know he gonna snitch. Name sound like
I mean,
go ahead, tell the story for the people that might not be familiar with what.
Okay, so as we know, what caused Vince McMahon to step down was, unfortunately, he had, this is also tying back into what Jimi Hendrix was talking about before. He was very unprofessional in regards to dealing with women in the professional wrestling business. Okay, a woman by the name of Janelle. Unfortunately, Vince McMahon could have just paid the $1.5 million, the $1.5 million, and all this would have never happened. But what ended up happening is that he decided not to pay the money, and Janelle took him to court, and they realized that unfortunately Vince McMahon was spending the WWE money to pay off females for the last 20 years. All right. And they said he spent over $20 million of the WWE funds to pay off many different women and give them NDAs and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what ends up happening is that in the name lawsuit that Janelle brought up, there have been different names of people that have been, unfortunately involved with a lot of the shenanigans that were happening at the time. One being that, Vince McMahon decided to defecate on a female's face. Which
Okay,
was,
come on now. We ain't got to get into the deets. We ain't got to get into the deets.
I just gave you one of the stories,
And that was one of them. There was plenty of them. You had to go with that one.
Yes, and so he decided that that's what he wanted to do. He also bought lavish gifts for every one of these females. He bought BMWs, Mercedes. In some cases, paid off people's college loans and also the mortgages, right? Just to make sure that he was not implicated in anything. So now John Laurinaitis was named as one of the co-conspirators in there, and since John Laurinaitis ain't shit, right? He decided to now agree to work with the government to testify against Vince McMahon in this trial. So I could have also told the story that he was taking the action figures and calling it wrestling. I mean, dildos, and sitting there calling it wrestling names, and then sitting there stabbing up Janelle. I could have told that story too, but I chose to go with the defecating one.
Well, you just kind of did, but I guess we're here now. I said my piece. John Laryngitis was gonna snitch with a name and a voice like that. I've got nothing more and nothing less to say. One of the other brothers could feel free to express their opinion on the situation.
I ain't no lawyer. I'm gonna mind my business. I'll talk about wrestling and wrestling only.
Well, that is wrestling technically.
Well, they're not wrestling. And
wrestling
that's the point. He does have a point.
In this day and age, right now, man, everybody's going down. If you thought you had somebody loyal sticking to you, well, guess again. Ain't nobody loyal in these times, in these days. So I mean,
it was just fucked up. Random Thoughts in the intro always says there's no shook hands in Brooklyn. Okay, the fact is
they're not from Brooklyn.
No, but the fact is that I'm saying they should not be fucking snitching. If you do dirt with somebody, your job and your responsibility
they shouldn't be committing crimes like that.
I'm not going down for nobody.
and they shouldn't be committing those crimes.
I ain't going down for nobody. That's what
is
John Laurinaitis was doing.
Somebody once told me that it's not called snitching, it's called answering questions.
That's what happens when you get money. You think money makes you powerful.
Yeah. Somebody told me before, he said it's not called snitching, it's called answering questions. All right. Oh, you know what? While we on it, still on Vince McMahon, but not on Vince McMahon because that sounded weird. Now, Vince McMahon, rumor has it, along with his son Shane and the Saudis, are trying to buy back the WWE. Okay? Why you shook your head, Brandon? I didn't say I could have said what we refer to people in the corner store as. I didn't do that. I did not do that. Okay, I said and the Saudis. So
business partners, they want to possibly either buy back the WWE or invest in a wrestling.
Yeah,
that's not happening because that's not happening. He's better off making his another company.
You feel like he should start from scratch and start anew?
Yeah.
And just leave this one alone. This house, he done sold it to the new family. They done gutted it out, redecorated, did what they was gonna do with it. Leave this house alone. That's how you feel.
Ain't no bat seeds, bitch. You sold it. Ain't no bat seeds, nigga. Go start some other shit. You Vince McMahon, you can do it.
I don't think so because he's going to be 81. So that's going to be a very.
What Shane is there for?
If the rumors are said to be true, because I ain't hear nothing about Shane being in it, so he has Shane. Shane can take it on with him. I see that happening. If that's
Vince don't even like Chain.
You said what?
I
Nah,
said Vince.
they, they
I mean, after that documentary, it seemed
yeah.
like he liked him. After we seen that documentary, I think he liked him now. You know?
Yeah, he was basically he's the only one that didn't call Mr. McMahon a low life in the documentary.
True.
Okay, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, but Brandon thoughts, take it away.
Sure, no problem. I'm going to toss the questions back to the guests. I wanted to know,
Jimmy,
It's
speaking of
Hemi.
Hemi, if it wasn't for blank, there would be no Hemi Hendrix. Fill in the blank.
Damn. If it wasn't for, damn, that's a good one. I'll say Mike Santana.
Mm,
He's the one who trained me. He's the one who taught me everything. So I would say it won't be a Hemi Hendrix without Mike Santana. So
mm.
that's why I feel. I
Shout
feel
out.
Okay.
wholeheartedly. Yeah.
Speaking of Mike Santana, you mentioned wrestlers earlier that you like, but who would you say whose wrestling style you say influenced you the most, like besides like Mike Santana?
I'll say El Generico, Sami Zayn,
mm,
Mm.
Rey Mysterio. I'll say AR Fox. AR Fox is like a big inspiration growing up when I was, watching wrestling. So I'll say AR Fox.
mm.
And one more. I'll say I'll put AJ Styles. I'll put AJ Styles there.
Okay. Oh, he made your list a few times. So
Yeah,
we
yeah.
got a segment later on that we might keep you around for. It's a Mr. Perfect or Mr. or Mrs. Kirk Hennon Award. That's where we give credit to somebody in professional
Mm,
wrestling who normally don't give their flowers, and we do a whole vote
mm,
thing. I think you
mm,
mentioned a few people that seems like viable nominees. I want to ask this question, right? You said you barely watch AEW. You seem to be in tune with WWE, but
mm.
it's WrestleMania 45. You are in one of the main events. Who
Yeah.
is the dream opponent standing on the opposite side of the ring of you?
I say Seth Rollins.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's still main event in WrestleManias at
Yeah,
WrestleMania.
yeah.
Fucking.
You can say that.
We have it's only 3 years
It's
from
safe
now.
to say that. It's only
That's why
yeah.
you said
Oh, and
45.
It's only
that's
3 years removed. Yeah,
Only
we can
three
see it,
years.
man.
that's a match I would like to see. That's a match I would like to see, you versus Seth Rollins. Because hearing how you saying that you're a hybrid in the ring, Seth
Mm,
Rollins is sort of that. He don't really do too much technical stuff, but
mm,
I would like to see that. That would be a
mm.
dope match.
Mm.
All right. Anybody else have questions before we get into his pen and perspectives?
Nope, not me.
Oh, all right. So if you're familiar with the pen and perspective, this is how it works. We'll read off two or three things that you may be able to relate to, and you let us know which one you are absolutely rocking with. It's kind of like a this or that kind of thing. All right. You ready to
All
play?
right. Yeah,
First one is gonna be Ricky Saints or MJF.
Ricky Saints.
All right. We're gonna go with the Shield or the Nexus.
The Shield.
Okay. Amy Rose or the Seafood Soul Spot.
What was the first one?
Amy Rose.
Amy Rose.
I go with Amy Roos. I can't eat seafood like that.
Call of Duty, GTA.
GTA.
Mm, okay. The TNA tag titles or the AEW tag titles?
TNA. Not AEW. AEW. Those ones are prettier. It was
Stone
prettier
Cold
than the TNA.
Stunner or the RKO?
Ah, Stone Cold Stunner.
Willow Nightingale or Piper Niven? You're such an advocate.
Willow.
Okay.
Okay.
Just because I met her a few times. She's cool.
Pancakes or French toast?
Pancakes.
Oxtail or curry chicken?
Oxtails.
Mm.
Well, they both get stuck in your teeth, so I'd have been like,
Oxtails, my brother. Come on.
they both get stuck in your blood clot.
What?
Hey, your blood clot teeth. It's gonna stuck in your blood clot teeth, my youth.
Oh, even though he locked up Tory Lanez or Bryson Tiller.
Oh shit! What? Bryson Tiller, I guess.
Okay, sure, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Who even knows him? All right, speaking of stuck in your teeth, roti or beef patty?
Roti.
Yeah,
Mm.
definitely. I would go with
Okay.
that too, definitely.
Nothing goes wrong with a good roti.
Except when the thing keeps slipping out, and then you need the fork at that point.
I think that's the beauty of it, right? That's
Yeah.
Isn't that when you take like the roti piece and like
yeah. You
scoop up
take
the
it and
meat
then scoop
together?
up. Yeah,
And you
yeah.
like,
But the thing is that I don't know how. Honestly, I don't know how I don't. So I don't want to sound ignorant, so I'm not gonna call it nationality. But it's a specific nationality that
Okay.
knows how to hold it and eat it like you're eating a burrito.
Okay.
You know what I'm
It's
saying? I don't know
a
how
light
they,
Wait,
skill.
isn't it Trinidadian?
What the hell?
No, no, I'm off. I'm way off. Please, I don't want to embarrass myself. Hold on, do this.
I
Well,
don't
you
know.
know,
I don't know myself. I don't know myself.
All right,
All right, you
he's
can't really
laughing.
eat seafood. We're gonna make this one light since it's food and we on the topic of food. We're gonna do seafood or Mexican food.
Mexican food.
Okay, because you can't barely eat seafood.
Oh yeah, it worked.
niggas love tacos now.
We love
That new
tacos.
Taco Tuesday be hitting. SZA or Tyler?
Oh shit, Tyler, natural.
Okay.
No offense.
Okay. That's different. That's different.
Shit.
Lola Brooke or Glorilla?
Glorilla.
I'll still be trying to
Scissor
agree with
all
you,
the
Sam.
time,
I
nigga.
I can't even tell who's who.
Nah,
I don't
I would
know.
say SZA if it was like 2014 type shit, but nah.
Okay, before the work. Got it. All right.
Yeah,
The
fuck
Hurt
man, yeah.
Business or the Street Profits?
The Street Profits.
Yeah, I think they cooler too. I agree. That's a good choice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was Dependent Perspectives, ladies
The
and
street profits is still the street profits. And her
Street
business
Profits.
and her business is Hurt Syndicate with MJF in it.
Yeah,
Okay.
We
that's why I
hurt
said the
people.
Hurt Business. That was specific about saying the Hurt Business. That's why I
That's
said
that's
business.
I mean like that. That's something I like about them. I like their theme.
The theme. Yeah. The We Hurt People. Yeah, that is kind of dope. It is
You know,
definitely dope.
it's almost like now with MJF being a part of it, reminds me when Owen Hart was in the Nation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
With Sammy in the Bloodline,
Mm.
Robin Thicke at the
Same in
BET
the bloodline.
Awards. It's all similar.
Nah, I'm joking. Nah.
It's all similar. Well, we're gonna move on to the next segment. This is the Mr. Kurt Hennig, Mr. and Mrs. Perfect Award, where we acknowledge and vote for someone in professional wrestling who doesn't get the credit that they necessarily deserve. When talking about the greats, whether it's they didn't get the proper push, or maybe they never won the title, but they had an impact and or a great storyline. So what I'm gonna do is toss it over to one of my amigos. Mash out. Who do you want to nominate this week for the Mr. Perfect Award?
Okay, so this is a good one. Because I don't have a person this week. Okay, I didn't.
All right.
I don't have. No, I do have somebody. I do have somebody this week. All right, Mike Tenay, because I've been watching a lot of TNA stuff over the last few weeks. Because Charles Brandon Thought said he was watching some stuff, so that made me get into watching some stuff. So Mike Tenay, great commentator,
He is.
very
Since
underrated.
WCW. He was good at WCW.
I think Tony Schiavone, overshadowed him a lot to show how good he was. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Mike today. I don't think he ever got his due.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Big Daddy Cool, Sour Diesel. You want to nominate anybody?
Yes, I want to nominate the newly acquired the TNA Cedric Alexander.
Okay. Wow.
Okay.
Wow, that's very good. That's very good. And I'm gonna tell you why that's very good, because our next segment is Wrestler of the Week, and he's my Wrestler of the Week. So that was fucking dope, D, that you just did that shit. So I can only second nomination. I'm not even gonna pick somebody different, but let me toss it over to the guest. You mentioned some people when mentioning, your influences and your style. Is there anybody that you wanna nominate Jimi Hendrix for the Mr.
Like,
Perfect Circle?
so it's like someone who hasn't like got their flowers yet.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, D'Lo Brown.
Okay, wow.
Okay. Yes.
Whoa,
Okay. That's a
whoa,
very
whoa.
D'Lo
good choice.
Brown. He is so underrated, man. I swear to God, man. He is so underrated. It's not even funny. I don't think people really talk about how much he's great in the ring. D'Lo Brown is
Mm.
one of those dudes. Yeah.
Yep, you paralyzed somebody. So I don't really.
He was getting up. I think he was getting
We
up.
don't talk about we don't talk about that. We don't talk about
I know
All
my
right,
that.
so
guy family talks about it.
our nominees. First
Yes.
round, you get to vote how many times you want for whoever you like. We got 3 nominees. We got Mike Tenay, we got Cedric Alexander, and we also have, who am I missing?
D'Lo Brown.
D'Lo Brown. D'Lo Brown.
The
Messing with the
paralyzer.
real deal now. But that's not his
Yeah,
fault. It's not his fault.
maybe.
It was not his fault.
It's
Maybe.
debatable. It's debatable.
It was not his fault fully. All right, so first one we're gonna go with is Mike Tenay. You just raise your hand and say "I" for
Go
Mike
with Mike
Tenay.
fucking today, boy.
All right, that's one. All right, secondly, Cedric Alexander.
Bang.
Aye. Third, D'Lo Brown. You gotta raise your hand.
You gotta vote for your own guy.
Yeah, you gotta vote for your own guy.
Yeah.
D'Lo Brown. So right now it seems like two, kind of one is kind of already Cedric Alexander one because 2 out of the 4 majority rules. So the winner of this week's Mr. Perfect Kirk Hennon Award is the one and the only Cedric Alexander. Shout out to
Good
you, Cedric.
man. I did not want it to be no D'Lo Brown for sure.
Oh, come on. You gotta let it go, man.
Can't let it go. I never forgave Owen Hart for injuring Stone Cold either.
You still holding on to it? It's all right. They forgave each other.
From 1997.
Yeah, they forgave each other. It's all right. Things happen in professional wrestling. You are, a professional wrestler. Like you said, you've had
Have some heart,
injuries.
Brett.
Like shit has happened.
I'm still with Brett and Goldberg. I'm still Brett. Goldberg stopped Bret Hart's career.
Y'all not afraid that Goldberg is gonna hurt Gunther when y'all was talking earlier about
Nah,
it?
he's
Not
too
when
old
that
to do
man
that
hurt
now.
himself.
He gonna hurt himself.
Bret Hart stopped his career when his ass went to WCW.
Yeah,
What?
he should have just took the loss, but whatever.
Yeah. That's true. That's very true. That's very
But
true.
there was nothing left for him.
Yeah, it was. He
What?
just wanted to have it his way in WWE.
He thought he was gonna pull a Hogan and do creative control.
Who version we listening to? Vince McMahon version? Is that the
Listen,
story y'all doing?
I would
Brett
have
School
loved to
Brett.
have Brett still go on in WWE. I would love to have seen him versus Kurt Angle. Oh my gosh, I would love to see
Yo,
that.
Brett versus Kurt Angle. I mean, Kurt
Oh,
Angle.
Chris
Would be,
Benoit.
oh my gosh, bro.
Brett and Chris Benoit. Wow, that would have been a great match too. They would have been.
well, who?
Brett and Chris Benoit.
Who?
Chris
You mean
Benoit.
you mean Steven Richards?
No. Nope. I meant Chris Benoit. But him
Brett
and
and Eddie.
Regal would have been good too. Brett and Regal would have been
Yeah,
good.
yeah, Brett Regal. Dope.
That would have been
Brett and
real
Eddie.
good. That would have been real good. Speaking of good wrestlers, we're going to move on to our last
Damn,
segment, which
bro.
is Wrestler of the Week. There's been so much professional wrestling throughout the week, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone tuning in. Who is your Wrestler of the Week? I started out with Mashup, so right now I'm going to start out with our guest. I'm going to be nice. Welcome to our house. You're a guest at our house. Who would be your Wrestler of the Week? Jimi Hendrix.
Timmy.
Oh man, sorry,
Yeah.
I got cut off. I got cut off for a second. My wrestler of the week would be. Oh damn, I'll say.
You can say yourself.
Nah, I can't say that, man. I gotta be humble. I can't be.
I
I
love
haven't wrestled this week. You know what I'm saying? I wrestled this week. I wrestled this week. You know what I'm saying? I'll say wrestler of the week would be. I shout out an indie wrestler. I say Jeff Skywalker.
Okay.
He's an up and coming wrestler here in New York City. I shout him out. He's a wrestler of the week.
Jeff Scott.
He's my wrestler of the week. Yeah,
You wrestled him at Brooklyn Con?
yeah, I did actually.
See, I do my research. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sour Diesel. Who's your Wrestler of the Week?
The wrestler of the week is none other than with that Trick Williams.
Okay.
Yeah, his character work he's been developing. I'm liking to see. I'm liking what he's doing right now.
All right. Matchout King. Who's your wrestler of the week?
Ja. Cena. Now I know I look like a hypocrite, but the fact is that
You do.
I know
I'm
I look
happy
like
that
a
you know.
fucking hypocrite,
They be the first one to call me out.
you know. But I call
This is
myself
black
out, bitch.
hypocrisy.
Relax. Okay. So yes, anyhow, I lost my train of thought. Oh, anyway,
John Cena.
John
Wrestler
Cena.
of the week.
Very entertaining Friday night. Very entertaining.
All right, my wrestler of the week, unfortunately, he had just won the Mr. Perfect Korean Award. It was Cedric Alexander. He put on a great match again with Mustafa Ali this past week. The match showed why both competitors are considered underrated and they are innovative. And unfortunately, I have to say that he dropped the ball with both of them. Yes, I said it. It's the truth. They dropped the ball with both of them. Hopefully that the doors may open again for them in the near future. Who
No,
knows? If not, they will be just fine doing what they do best, and that's
this
putting
is
on wrestling clinics. So I want to shout out Cedric Alexander. I appreciate you, King. He was my wrestler of the week. Shout out all the
this is
wrestlers of
what
the
we
week.
need. This is
Go
what we
ahead,
need.
G.
We need top competitors in all different
I
companies.
agree. I 200%
That's
agree.
what we need. Let
I
let
totally
build
agree. I
that
don't
up.
think
Let
everybody
continue.
needs to be in the E. I think everybody belongs in a proper place. Certain people belong here. Certain people belong
Yeah.
there. It's a spot in the place for everybody. Timmy Hendrix, thank you so much for joining the show. Let the people know where they
Appreciate
can
it.
follow you. And if you haven't already seen this man in action, he put in some work, high flying, innovative moves. Let them know where they can follow you. Let them know your upcoming matches.
Okay, we got you can follow me on Instagram on Hemi Hendrix underscore no Hemi Hendrix 777 underscore Nikolai White underscore on both Instagrams. Upcoming match we got June 27th at Fordham Road, Bronx, New York.
Oh,
I'm going up against Lee Jackson, rate over for the YouTube Championship, World Wrestling Extreme. Come check it out. Tickets are $20. And July 11th, I'm going return to Remarkable Wrestling. I'm going back to Long Island. We got a 5-way Riot scramble match, and that's going to be exciting. So yeah, check out my stuff. I got all the updates on my Instagram, and yeah, come check me out.
Well, I come to the Bronx and you lose, nigga.
Yo, we don't
I'm
lose. We don't
booing mad
lose.
loud. I'm booing
We
mad
do.
loud. No, I'm just kidding.
We don't lose. We don't
I'm
lose out
just
here.
kidding. I'm just kidding. But we appreciate you for joining the Three Amigos show. Our casa is su casa. How you say it, Mashout? You speak the Spanish.
It's
You
me,
say it on
me,
the
casa.
Mukasa, su casa.
Yeah, there you go. Y'all know you know the phrase. We appreciate you,
Nigga,
King.
you part
Mhm.
Cuban?
Yes, I
Nah, I'm
am, but
Pan.
I don't mean I
Uh,
speak Spanish.
Not you.
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
me? No, I'm
Yeah.
Panamanian.
Well,
Oh,
Part
look
Oh,
at
Panamanian.
you. You're not. Look at that. Look at that.
okay,
hermano.
I'm Panamanian.
Yeah,
Hermano. Hermano.
Wow.
my brother.
What happened, big man?
Well, here we go. It must be it's a
Yeah,
connection.
what happened, pana? I didn't even know you was Panamanian like me.
What's happening?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. We're
we
gonna
brothers out
connect.
You
here.
couldn't tell y'all both got shiny ass foreheads.
You know what?
Word.
That Panama Canal.
Couldn't tell. I can tell. All right. Well, we
Yeah.
appreciate you for joining the show. Thank you for
Appreciate
being
it.
a
Thank
part of
you.
the Three Amigos. You're always welcome. After your matches, you want to come on by. Come on by. Let
Yeah.
us know how
Yeah.
everything is going and keep us updated. You're always welcome. We appreciate you for coming on our
Thank you.
show.
I
And you
appreciate
are
y'all.
an
Thank you.
amigo.
No problem, brother.
Have a
Uh-huh.
good night and a good week. With that being said, fellas, your final thoughts. What do you want to say? Leave the
I
audience
just want
with.
y'all to remember this show was brought to you by us. This is Boofu. This is by us for you. Love you. Peace and love.
That was a
Peace,
good one.
love.
Good one, D. I like that. Oh, I felt that. Mash out King. Final words.
Listen, like I always say, love the one you're with. All right.
Okay, that's all
Whoever that
right.
may
Sure.
be. All
Whoever
right.
that may be, whatever that may be, that's
Your
right. I'm
choice.
gonna say I'm gonna give a special shout out to the class of 2025. Okay, the graduation
Shout out to
class.
my baby.
You got that's right.
Shout out
Go
to my
ahead, say
baby
it.
boy. Shout out to my baby boy. He going to high school, y'all.
They grow up so fast. Auntie,
Oh my God,
auntie.
remember I was just holding his hand.
It was a time. Shouts out. It was just Father's Day last week. Shouts out to all the fathers and all of the people out there that do their thing every single damn day, who do it like it's their second breath. Thank you to the once again the graduation season class of 2025. You put in the work. Your elevation now have commenced, and it's time to commemorate that. Shouts out to all of y'all. You made it, and some of you have even mastered it. So shout out to all of y'all. Those are my final thoughts. You know where to follow us. That's DATHREE Amigos on Instagram and DATHREE Amigos Podcast 1 at gmail.com. Let us know what you thought of the show. I'm Brandon Thoughts. That's Big Daddy Food Sour Diesel. That's the Mash Out King. Adios, amigos.